Traveling the Vortex.
We've joined Dr. Mysterio as he travels the Vortex and arrive at episode number 310. Merry Christmas. I'm Keith.
I'm Sean Mysterio.
I'm Glenn.
Glenn's not Mysterio.
Well, I'm in my secret identity right now, so if I were to reveal who I was, then the whole world would know. And so did I just reveal who I am?
Yes, you did.
Man, I'm Glenn Mysterio. Cat's out of the bag.
I thought you were going to be the Glenn.
The Glenn. Yeah, I'm the Glenn. I'm the ghost.
Or I'm blanking on any other G one. That would be a good superhero name.
Green Lantern.
I'm
It's
Glenn
taken.
Lantern. I'm Glenn Lantern.
Oh, you didn't want a real one. You just
I was
wanted...
trying to come up with something new.
Aha!
Did you guys have a good
I'm the
Christmas?
Shady Glenn.
Oh!
That'd be a villain, wouldn't
Yeah, that would be a villain.
it? Shady Glenn.
I'm pretty sure.
But no offense, that sounds like a lower level villain.
Yeah.
'Cause you're just shady, you're not
Shady.
evil.
That sounds like a level 1
man,
Venture
I
Brothers
can't
villain.
even be a really good villain.
Maybe henchman?
Shady Glenn. Yeah, that's not even a good Bond henchman.
You've got Diggs next door to the Mighty Monarch.
It would require a trench coat.
Yeah.
Probably black or gray or khaki, but dingy.
I like it. Actually, I kind of like that. I'm kind of a low-key villain.
You'd look like Batman in desert garb.
Without the cowl.
Without the cowl. Who are you? I'm the Shady Glenn. Can I get an apple? No. It's not that kind of Glenn.
They don't grow well there.
It's too shady.
Oh, did you guys have a good Christmas?
We did have a good Christmas.
Yeah.
Very busy. Very
Yeah.
busy.
Very busy.
I'm
Same.
exhausted from our Christmas.
You glad it's over?
How early did
like in a
kids
weird-
get up this morning?
Oh, Mason. Well,
You
okay.
guys do Christmas Eve, right?
All right. So yesterday morning we got together with Holly's mom and her sister and my brother-in-law and their kids, and so we had breakfast and did presents and things like that then. And then mid-afternoon, Holly's mom went home and Holly's dad and her stepmom came over because they're in from Florida because they live in Florida now, and so we spent the afternoon with them. And then in the evening we went to traditional Christmas Eve dinner, which is Denny's for us. And we went to Denny's, and my aunt and uncle who were in town came with us. So we had dinner, then we went to my mom and dad's, and we opened gifts from just my immediate family. So this morning, so we were going home, and we had to get up pretty early on Saturday because Holly's mom was coming over, and we still had some last minute things to do before everybody arrived. So I said, okay, Christmas Day we can kind of sleep in a little bit, but so Mason says, well, Dad, make sure you're up by 10. Well, I am a late sleeper on days I don't have to do anything. I said, Mason, 10's way too late. I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get up about 9. That'll give us enough time to get around and get ready because the rest of the family went to church this morning, so I knew we had some time before they got out of church, but they have an early church, so I told him, I said, Mason, I said, I'm going to get up at 9. How's that sound? And I said, okay, that's good, because that's better than 10 for him. So at 8:30, he comes in, and he taps me on the shoulder and says, are you going to get up? And I said, I looked at my clock, or my phone, and it was 8:30. I said, what happened at 9 o'clock? And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. And he walked out of the room, and I said, all right, Mason, we'll get up. So, of course, then we had to drag Caitlin out of bed, because she's expected to sleep till 9, and then for her, 9 is 9:30. So we had to drag her out of bed. So but not super early, but 8:30, which was much earlier, and I didn't get to bed till late, because, we had to do the Christmassy stuff overnight to get ready for Christmas morning. And then, so was up then, and then did just, the Santa gifts. Santa came, filled the stockings last night, so we did Santa gifts and with just our family. Then we went to my family, and we were over there all day long because we had lunch, and then we had, open gifts and just spend time chatting and eating. Oh man, I'm actually sick to my stomach tonight because we ate so much of Christmas goodies. So again, that was my weekend, and pretty much in a nutshell. It was a lot of fun. I think we wanted to go to Winter Wonderland this weekend. We just couldn't fit it in.
Yeah, we haven't made it either.
So luckily we've got another week.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
if we want to do it, Holly may actually take the kids tomorrow. So
We'd had Christmas Eve with my mom. We did that in the evening and got together and played some Firefly Flux before having dinner and opening presents. And then Adi and Mike and his girlfriend stayed at our house last night. So Adi was up by 7:30.
yeah. So you got it even worse.
Luckily, Mike just told him to lay there in bed. And then he was blah, 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 blah. Even though the other room, 2 doors closed.
You could still hear it.
So Sarah and I got up probably about 10 till 8, and I started on breakfast and did that. Then we went over to my dad's and had lunch and presents and pie and
Pokemon.
no Pokemon. That was after breakfast.
I saw.
Yeah.
I was just saying,
Not at my
I
dad's.
saw pictures of Audie playing
Of
Pokemon.
Audie playing,
with
yeah,
people,
with
so.
Ashley. Yeah, that was kind of post presents
I
while
see.
I was preparing stuff to take over to my dad's.
Did Audie get a
They
lot of
were doing
Pokemon for?
Yeah, he did get quite a bit.
A lot of cards.
Yeah, the biggest present for Audie was an Ash hat.
Yeah, I saw him wearing it. One of the
Yeah,
one of the
he
pictures.
was so excited about that one.
Yeah, Mason got a bunch of Pokemon cards too, so he
that's
was
good.
excited. I told him, I said, Keith's nephew plays Pokemon too. He collects the cards and plays the game, and he goes, maybe you ought to introduce me.
I think they get along.
They
really
probably would.
well. And then after my dad's, my sister's in town with her husband and their dog, and they came over and we played some Nightmare Before Christmas Munchkin.
I'm glad you're still getting some
Yeah.
good use out of that.
Second time I got to play it, so that was pretty much our Christmas festivities. A lot of good time had by all.
Now we're
Sean,
talking
what
about
was your
Pokemon earlier.
Christmas like?
We did Christmas Eve morning. We went to my mom's out in Burlingame and had Christmas out there and a wonderful brunch with gourmet eggs, and they were so good, and I ate so much. And then we came back and went to my dad's Christmas Eve night and opened presents and had lunch type stuff there. And then came home, stayed up way too late, also doing the extracurricular Christmassy stuff. In fact, Katrina got a very nice letter from Santa letting her know that apparently she was kind of borderline naughty list this year, and that she needs to start respecting her mom a little bit more. The elves kind of recommended it, and Santa said, I'm going to let her go one more year. But you got to kind of...
What was her reaction to that?
She didn't care about the letter at all. She was like,
Whatever.
Give me the next present. Give me the next present. It's like, did you see
You know
what this says?
You should have done. What you should do is you should frame that letter and pull it out next year and say, "Do you remember this?" Like when it gets close, not.
I'll recommend it
right
to her
before.
mom.
Pull it. You remember this? See if it changes the behavior,
Was
or maybe
Katrina-
all year long. Just say, "Hey, look at this letter."
Was Katrina here overnight? Or was
She was.
Oh. So you guys got the Christmas morning.
Yeah, we woke everybody up. I don't remember what time we got up. We got to actually sleep in a little bit, which is probably good because by the time I got done dealing with the guy in the red suit, it was probably close to 3 a.m. Everybody else had gone to bed already, and I think it was
What time
probably
I went to bed.
about 9
I at least got to bed before midnight.
that we got up.
So the guy in the big red suit must have been to our house about the same time. Then.
Yeah. Well, if you follow the NORAD tracker, he went this
That's
way
true.
this year.
Yeah.
So,
And we're just down the street from each other.
Yeah.
Wasn't taking much.
but Katrina wanted to leave milk and cookies out, and then she went to bed and forgot. So I went ahead and put the stuff out and then played it off in the morning. I was like, who was eating milk and cookies? Billy, did you get up in the middle of the night? He goes, no, I didn't do it. I said, Katrina, did you do it? And she was like, no, I wouldn't do that. Are you sure? No. Like not putting 2 and 2 together. That, well, somebody was in the living room eating milk and cookies last night. And she went, I bet it was Billy. How old are you? 5? This should work. Okay.
She didn't leave them out for
Yeah.
him, so
So Santa even thanked her in the letter. Thank you for thinking of me with the milk and cookies. Yeah, but so yeah. But then we opened present. Cody and Sam came over, and we went and picked up Jessie and brought her over, and so we had all of Mel's family over here for Christmas, and opened all those presents. And I got some cool stuff.
what'd you get?
I got a Cody gave me an R2D2 cigarette adapter cell phone charger, the one that sits in the cup holder of your
nice.
car, and when you start the ignition, he goes and he spins around and does all this. It looks like he's riding in the back of the X-Wing. It's so cool. And I needed a new car charger, so I was ecstatic. Mel got me another year's supply of Whirly Pop movie theater popcorn, so I was excited about that. And she got me the coolest. It's kind of a no-no that was stuffed in the stocking, I think. But the coolest thing I think is we've been needing a mouse pad. We've had just like a pad of paper kind of taped to the desk.
Who uses mouse pads anymore?
Creature or habit.
Sean
Yes. I needed
Sean, apparently, yeah.
needed a mouse pad.
Sarah got one too, a Hogwarts one.
Oh.
Mine has my art on it.
Oh, that's cool.
The Doctor Who TARDIS painting.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's got that image on the mouse pad. And I was like, what sorcery is this? How did you do that? Like I had to go downstairs and look and make sure the painting was still on the wall, that she just didn't cut it out and glue it. You know. I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know that you could do that.
That's
but
neat.
Yeah,
that
it's.
is really neat.
I should bring it up, but it's downstairs. But yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, I had a good Christmas, and then we wanted to go see Fantastic Beasts, but the day just kind of got away from us. We had Christmas movies going here, and it took us 5 hours to get through Love Actually because people kept stopping in. We had to keep stopping the movie and getting up doing something and come back to it. And it was like, I love this movie. This is the longest Christmas movie ever. What is the deal with this? Oh, it's because we keep getting interrupted. So then they came back, and we had actually just ate about an hour before I started texting you guys and watched Doctor Who, and then you're here. So it's been a long week getting ready for today.
Keith, what'd you get on your haul? Anything special?
One of the standout things, Sarah's mom worked with Sarah and made a little, I should have brought it because it's really cute, a photo book, like a book of pictures of me and Cody, and it kind of tells, a little story in it too.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it's really, really cute. She did a really good job with it. I got a lot of stuff for the house, which I was wanting to get, and a hacksaw and a bag holder for leaves and
Tools.
stuff I was excited about. Nobody else was.
I don't know. Glenn might be
Grill
excited.
cover.
Oh, yeah.
One of those.
House stuff for me is always, when I need it, I go, I'm going to the hardware store.
We got one of those things you hook to a blow vac in the vacuum form, and it goes over a trash can, and you just suck up the leaves and it goes straight into the trash can.
That's nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, now I just got to get a trash can. I wasn't going to put that on.
Well, that's the cheap version, or that's a cheap part of that
exactly.
system.
Also got
Is this new?
This is new.
I didn't recognize that one.
Audie got that for me.
That's way cool.
Yeah. Got a couple of sonic screwdrivers and a Bluetooth smartphone controlled Dalek that I can't figure out how to operate remote control version. The autonomous mode works great. It's really cool.
It wants to live.
It wants to live. Glenn, what'd you get on your haul?
Well, I got a new hard drive that I needed really badly, 3 terabyte. My Who haul this year, though, was I got the comic strip companion. It's the unofficial guide to the comics from 1964 to 1979. So it's all those old school comics from TV Comics and Action Comics that I really like.
Is the first Doctor and Santa Claus in there?
It is, yeah. So it's now it's basically it's a guide that tells you about the comics. The comics aren't actually in the book, but it tells you about all the comics and who they're written by. And
That sounds like an invaluable resource for somebody who might be talking to scheduling about.
story. Yeah, or for this particular podcast, it's perfect. I also got the classic Doctor Who DVD compendium, which lists all of the DVDs, the extras, everything that's on them for each disc. So you don't have to go pull each one out and look which strip for action was that on. You just go here and you can look them up through there. I got this really cool. Have you guys seen these? These are at Barnes & Noble. There's 2 of them, actually.
I thought about getting one of those
and
for
Santa
you,
brought
but
this one for me. Well, I need the other one still, so keep that in mind for birthdays. This one has Remembrance of the Daleks, which I think I told Ben, by the way. Ben, correction on the Facebook post. It's Remembrance of the Daleks, not Resurrection. And the other one is Prisoner of Daleks, which we just read, actually, recently. Mason got me a 11th Doctor pop vinyl. And then my aunt got me the Visitation book.
Very cool.
And
Rainbow
she
Trout.
also got me Shada, although I've already read Shada, but now I have a physical copy instead of a digital copy.
Does it still have the really it's like calfskin cover.
This
feel
one
to
is
it.
actually paperback.
Oh,
So, yeah. But,
that's okay. It's still cool.
yeah,
It's still Shada.
And then I've got this. This was cool. I couldn't figure out what this was when I first got it. It's a metal craft, is what it is. And you know how the foldable TARDIS that you have? Well, this is that, but it's metal.
That's cool.
And there's so no glue or anything required. So once you put it together, it's a metal TARDIS.
Is it a very highly chrome finish to it?
I haven't opened it, but it's shiny. You can see there's a little like a hole here.
Okay,
you can
so
see
now what
it's
you
kinda
have to
shiny
do,
there.
all right, is you build the TARDIS, and then you build a museum set so that you can put a little Fourth Doctor and Romana and John Cleese action figure next to it.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that doesn't work. It was the chrome one was in a museum.
Yeah.
I'm transposing two different stories. Never mind. It
The
doesn't
metal
work.
on this, I think that
It looks like it's still.
That was a
blue.
lame
it is
joke.
painted blue. It's still blue, but I think where like the silver is more of a chrome look.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
That was a lame joke. I worked way too hard to put that together, and it didn't even work. Never mind.
Your pop reminded me that I got Captain Jack FYE exclusive with the Vortex manipulator
Oh, sweet.
and pop Fourth Doctor keychain.
I didn't get any pop figures this year, but I tend to just buy things and bring them home. So.
That's only my second pop figure that I've owned. The only other one that I got was in a loot crate. So it was the Batman Joker crossover.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a slippery slope, my friend.
I mean, I like my 11th Doctor pop figure. Don't get me wrong. In fact, the Doctor Who ones I've always considered picking up or asking for.
It's a slippery slope, my friend.
Beyond
Because
that,
there's a lot of those
I
now.
don't like the pop figures that much.
I
Not
didn't
that
either.
much.
I didn't either.
Even the Flash ones?
He's adorable. The Flash ones have been tempting because they're Flash. but
It's a slippery slope, my friend.
he's adorable.
Yes.
So cute. And then we got the kids an Xbox One for Christmas, so we've been playing that a lot. Now I can get Battlefront.
Now I can get your gamer tag updated, and
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because now I have to buy
I'm not
a
getting an
subscription.
Xbox One.
Well, if you get on Minecraft, you can play through Realms, and that cross platforms now apparently. So
Oh, really?
yeah, but you have to pay $7.95 a month for Realms. So
First, I'd have to get it into Minecraft.
yeah, well, that's true.
Speaking of video games, one of mine was the Fantastic Beasts expansion for LEGO Dimensions. 6 whole new levels.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, guess who's going to be buying Lego Dimensions soon? Now that he's got his Xbox One, because that was the caveat.
Oh, now
I kept
it's
saying I'm not.
Now
getting
the starter
Lego
packs
Dimensions.
are really affordable.
Yeah. Really. Well, my focus right now will be on all of the Doctor Who available stuff,
Yeah.
and then from there we'll see.
Or you can be like me and just not finish the game yet. Cody wanted to borrow it because he bought himself. He got his bonus from his job because they just made him full time. They're going to give him a truck and a gas card and all this kind of stuff. That's going to be amazing. So he's really ecstatic about it. We're very proud of him. But he got an $800 bonus for Christmas, and he went out and bought himself an Xbox One. And that was kind of his fun thing. And then he came and asked, "Can I borrow Lego Dimensions?" And I was like, "I'm fine with it, but your mom actually has a couple days off here in a row. She may want to play some, so you better check with her."
So Merry Christmas to our listeners,
Merry
and
Christmas.
Hopefully you guys had as much of an eventful.
Happy Christmas to
I want
everybody
to know.
across the pond.
Here, I've got something. Send us feedback and let us know your Who haul. You don't have to tell us everything you got. If you want to throw some other things in that you got, but I want to know your Who haul. If you're a Doctor Who fan listening to this show, I want to know what Doctor Who items you got for Christmas this year.
Mousepad.
I'm sure I'm forgetting some, too.
I took pictures of all mine because I knew I'd forget. That's why I was
I
flipping
feel
through my
inadequate.
phone.
The guy prepares, he's got notes for what he got for Christmas.
Well,
and it's like,
I did finally get Series 9 on Blu-ray.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
In years past, I've come here and gone, I can't remember what I got. And then I'll list a few things off, and then I'll go home and I'll go, I had like 15 other things that I didn't say. So this time I took pictures of
Well,
everything.
I know for all of us, it's getting a lot harder to be gifted with Who stuff because nobody knows what exactly
What you
we
have and what you don't have. Yeah, exactly.
I got this
my
gift
other
card,
Who haul
which
was
I will be turning
Keith.
into this.
Keith has pre-ordered
Oh,
Power
yeah.
of the Daleks
I got 2
on
Who
DVD
items.
for me.
And Glenn got
I have 3 Who items. Forgot about the book.
me the Doctor Who American Adventures book and a what is this?
I got 4. I forgot about the keychain.
Times Squared character keychain, and it's a blind box, and I got a Weeping Angel, and it's very cute.
He is cute.
I don't think it's supposed
a
to be
really
so
big
cute.
hand.
I know.
I don't know that it's supposed to be cute either, but it is. It's an adorable little.
I feel like I'm going to pit him up against my Star Wars
That's the style of these.
It does look like those. Yeah. The Galactic.
The Galactic Heroes.
Yeah. That's what they look like. They look like little Galactic Heroes.
The keychain really
that's your book.
offsets him.
I think it's his helmet. He's got some helmet back there.
Beer and magic helmet.
I'm always worried about putting these on my keychains because I'm so rough on keys. Like, the Vader Lego I had is just decimated. So I'm always worried about putting it on my keychain.
You can hang it on anything. You could put a hook on it and hang it on your tree.
Oh! I might even have to put a hook and just...
Yeah, just slide it over.
That's a good idea, Glenn.
I'm always thinking in the Christmas realm. I also got, out of the Doctor Who realm, I got the Star Wars Luke Skywalker Last Hope for the Galaxy, which is a collection of comics from the EU Legends.
As did I.
From Sean.
So, ironically, this year we all got each other the same things. Well, it's not a gift of a magi thing. It's Sean got Glenn and I both the same thing.
Yeah.
I got them the same thing. And Glenn got us the same thing.
It worked out well.
And Spencer,
Yes.
you guys got Spencer.
Yes.
And Spencer.
A Vader keychain. Or not keychain.
That one's an ornament. That one is an ornament. So there you go.
Did you guys do anything non-Christmassy this week?
Yeah,
or watch anything?
Well, this wasn't even non-Christmassy. I ended up watching Krampus.
That's Christmassy.
Yeah. Well, that's what I say. It wasn't non-Christmassy.
Oh.
Well, it is kind of non-Christmassy because it's not really. I don't. It feels like it's trying to be Gremlins, as far as tone and mood of a Christmas film. It does have some humor in it. In fact, I completely forget the guy's name, but the guy that played, he was in Parks and Recreation.
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott is a lead in that, and the guy that was in Anchorman, where's the cowboy hat, the sports guy. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can never remember his name either.
Was in it. It's not a funny movie in the sense that it's a comedy. It's a if anything, it's almost an action horror film. But it doesn't go so... I mean, it's PG-13, so it doesn't go so far as to be horrific.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it sets up... And it really feels like a Christmas movie when it sets up. But then when Krampus shows up, it becomes more of something I think I would have preferred to watch at Halloween rather than... I think it was a fine movie.
There are some of those Christmas horror movies that just don't work at Christmas.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't watch like Santa's Sleigh and Silent Night, Deadly Night, those things at Christmas because...
Black Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because of the tone. Unfortunately, Krampus fits into that. It kind of falls into that eventually. But it's an interesting film. And I think I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but I think I would have preferred... I watched the alternate ending, and I think I would have preferred the alternate ending. It would have set better with me than... I like where the real end or where the theatrical ending goes for more of a creepy Halloween movie or any other time of the year horror film. But for Christmas, I think it needed to end a little differently. But I don't want to say too much because
I think I'm going to try to watch that next week. So we watched Mascots, the Christopher Guest.
Oh right,
Netflix
movie. How was it?
It was okay, not as good as the others. There were some funny moments and a great cameo. I didn't know about. I'll just say that Christopher Guest shows up as a certain character.
Oh, is that right? Mm-hmm. I think I can kind of guess that.
Yeah, but so there were some really funny moments. Once they actually got to the competition, it got a lot more enjoyable. It just took a while to get there. Kind of like Best in Show. And for me, that movie picks up too when it gets to the competition.
I would agree.
But yeah, it was pretty enjoyable.
Mel and I watched the Magnificent Seven remake.
Oh. How was that?
I think I liked it better than the original.
Sacrilege.
I know.
Isn't that blasphemy?
It is. But I found it to be very enjoyable. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's very much in the realm of the kind of new westerns versus the classics, but I think it moved at a better pace. And I kept kind of checking myself going, am I enjoying this more than the first one? I shouldn't be. I think I am. That's weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just it's hard to dislike Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt and the group of people they've got in it, and then Vincent D'Onofrio shows up, and his character's an absolute hoot. So yeah, it was an all around solid western. If you're a fan of the genre, definitely check it out.
When I see it, I might end up being the same way because I'm one of those few people that thought the new True Grit was better than the original True Grit. So
It happens
And I love the
occasionally.
original True Grit.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge John Wayne fan, though, so that kind of paints... Even though I love Westerns, I'm not a huge John Wayne fan.
Let's move on to news.
What's in the news, Keith?
Titan Comics paired up with Doctor Who, BBC Doctor Who, the official website, DoctorWho.tv, to release a short Christmas story for Christopher Eccleston, giving him a Christmas special of his own.
Sweet.
So you can go check that out on their website, or you can also go to our Facebook page. We've shared it there, so it's easy to access. Just Traveling the Vortex on Facebook.
And what's the most important 4-letter word involving this short story? Free, right?
Oh, yes, free. Sorry.
'Cause I'm all about the free stuff. It's post-Christmas. I'm poor.
It was written by Kevin Scott.
Kevin?
Kevin.
Huh.
And I think we decided we're going to review this next week, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, that's probably the important part. Now that Keith has brought
That's
up the
also-
news aspect, allow me to cover the scheduling
That will
aspect
be
of it.
added to the schedule because
We're
we're going to do our.
We're going to review it next week.
We're going to do our what is it?
A very Vortex
Vortex
Christmas.
Christmas special next week for New Year's.
It may not be so special. It may just be a very Vortex Christmas, which means a lot of tangents and nothing actually happens.
It'll be special. It'll be special. We're going to do our special event that we're going to do. I've been planning.
Oh, good.
And you're supposed to look and go, what is that again?
What No, I'm with you now.
Last week.
I'd forgotten until you said it, but
There's
I'm with
another
you
one
now.
to add on the end of the pot this week.
That might be a Facebook Live thing.
No, we can do that. I can
Yeah.
go with
See,
that.
I knew there was an angle here.
There you go. I got an angle. You've sold me.
The only other bit of news we have this week is British Fest announced another guest, and it's a Doctor Who guest.
Yeah.
Colin Spall.
He's been in both the
Classic
original series
era
and new.
new series.
Yes, he has.
So,
And I had to go back and look. Was that actually him?
he was in Revelation of the Daleks, and then Rise of Cybermen, Age of Steel. He did not list the character's name.
Well, he
on
was
this
Mr.
He was the basically the henchman.
Yeah,
to,
with the glasses.
yeah.
Mr. They kept calling him Mr. somebody. I can't remember.
The Bluetooth dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome, Colin. We're looking
Yeah.
forward to
Yep.
And he's got a proper English name. Colin.
So we should move right on to our review.
The Return of Doctor Mysterio. I don't have a synopsis, Keith. You're still going to have to jump in here at
The
some
family
point.
favorite will return on Christmas Day as the Doctor joins forces with an investigative journalist and a superhero to save New York from a deadly alien threats. That's not a good synopsis. I guess it's
Can we
alright.
insert crickets here?
Crickets.
It doesn't get the horn.
It was
I liked half of
real
it.
close.
I was little. Here's the thing. I'm actually kind of encouraged by the fact that you guys maybe are on the same page I am with this one, because I really, I wasn't too excited about going into it. I kept saying I'm going to hold my, keep my reservations until I actually view it, but it just wasn't wowed by the trailer, and I kept thinking I watched it. I thought maybe I've just completely tarnished my opinion of it by having a preconceived opinion of it beforehand, but it's just kind of there, you know, for me. It's not, it doesn't feel like it fits in Doctor Who for me.
Mel said the exact same thing. She said it was okay. She says it didn't feel like Doctor Who.
I appreciate when you try to do something like that as a writer or showrunner. I
think
appreciate.
it would have felt like it was more a part of Who for me if they had solved the superpowers aspect of it by the end of it.
Agreed. Because just to say, I've decided to hang that up, and I'm not going to use that again.
Because the kid already broke his promise.
Yeah, he already broke his promise, and it's an easy, okay, we're just done with it now. We're just going to pretend, we're just shoving it under the rug. And B, it's a way to bring the guy back later on at another date, which I don't want to see anytime soon come back. I'm grateful it's a Christmas episode, because as we've talked about, the Christmas episodes, especially Russell T Davies, Stephen Moffat's era, sort of kind of fit in their own little pocket. They're still part of continuity, but they fit within their own little pocket because they're something a little different, a little special. but it really felt like Stephen Moffat ran out of ideas and jumped on the superhero bandwagon and decided, I'm going to do my superhero theme for something, and it just...
Well, the problem with the story is there are two stories.
Yep.
Yeah.
One, which I enjoyed, and the other, which fell flat, which was the superhero story aspect of it. Because the other storyline of these villains and what they're doing was actually kind of interesting with some creepy villains.
Yeah, agreed.
And we just kept cutting away, changing tone sharply and abruptly to go back to this superhero aspect of it that just fell completely flat. And normally, to some extent, I will enjoy the cliches, but this was too cliche superhero.
We had a cliche story going on, and we had a Doctor Who story going on, because the Doctor's still dealing with the villains on his own.
And that bit was great with Nardole.
But then you've got this cliche of Clark Kent, Lois Lane.
It's just every single cliche too.
Yeah.
It almost broke the mold when he went to reveal himself, and I thought, oh, they're finally doing something kind of fresh and unique and not cliche. And then it didn't quite get there, although the entire scene where he's trying to reveal himself and she won't look at him was
kind of funny.
A nice kind of change to the cliche.
Right.
Other than that, there's nothing different to the cliche.
Yeah.
It was frustrating.
Although
on many levels.
Hang on a second. I will give them this, though, that they at least let us know it was coming by showing us the comic book scene.
That's true.
With the Doctor talking about the cliches. I mean, he wasn't talking directly about the cliches, but he was bringing up what we know as the cliches.
Yeah.
So at least they telegraphed that ahead of time.
That's one of many things that was very frustrating about this. When you set out to do a superhero story, and you open with the Doctor in this kid's room reading a comic book and not getting that Clark Kent is Superman, and why hasn't Lois Lane figured it out, and pointing out all of these things. It's clever and it's funny, and it's one of those that's funny moment because the Doctor's kind of dumb.
Had to draw specs on Clark Kent,
and he makes a big deal.
Had
of it.
he not done that, though, it wouldn't have been much different than most other commentary on Superman.
True.
And then, so then the kid swallows this gem thinking it's medicine. It's not. It gives him superpowers, and then 24-year time jump all of a sudden, and then we're dealing with the superpower thing, and then there's the Doctor Who plot with these brain aliens, which could have been interesting, but didn't really get enough. Like, I felt like it was the startings of a good story, but it never really went far enough for me to become a good story, and then he kept pulling his gun out of his head, which I thought was dumb.
Well, are the brain aliens the same aliens that are in River, Husbands of River Song?
They had the same effects.
They have the same split. I mean, if it's down the slanted on their face,
the insides of the heads.
Well,
are the same.
and in that one, he pulls his head apart to reach in there and grab the little chip to transfer the money to her.
Yeah.
So they use that as a carry-all. I don't know why you keep tucking a gun in there. Just put it in your belt. It would have been easier than pulling your head apart every time.
Yeah.
But was that supposed to be the same aliens?
I'm assuming.
Okay.
You're fresher on it than I am, since I didn't make it to Friday night.
There was no line drop that I caught, but just from design aspect of alone, I can only assume that.
Because the main guy in Husbands of River Song is very alien in just the way he acts, but the whole, when they turn around and we realize that all of the people in the restaurant are that, they're all pretty normal looking, like they could have been taken over from these aliens.
I mean, other than the lines across their face.
Right.
Which, if you'd done that's one of the things that I liked about it, is that we, at the very, very end of the episode, we get that drop line about 24 years later.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Were you guys convinced? Did you guys pick up early on that he's sad about River? Or, because I kept thinking, he's still feeling weird about the whole Clara issue.
With Nardole being there, I figured it was River.
I kind of was bouncing back and forth.
But it was nice to get the confirmation when he confirms that 24 years, it would be 24 years later. Because I don't understand why we end with him hanging on top of the Empire State Building and then all of a sudden he's back in the kid's life, and why the time jump? Well, now it makes sense that he encountered the kid and then he left him and he went and spent the last date with River and then came back.
midway through his life too.
Yeah, because remember he was having the mid or the puberty crisis where it started affecting him, and he raised
the
stuff off
flashbacks
of
and the stuff with the kid was enjoyable. It was the actual grown-up superhero stuff I didn't like.
Yeah. Well, even the grown-up superhero stuff, I think it had its moments. I mean, most of them were cliche, but it was going a ways toward being a superhero genre thing. And I really kind of almost had hoped there would have been a little more to it when the kid gets this gem that's going to basically grant him his wish, and it's going to turn things into the superhero world. And it's like, oh, okay, I see where you're going with that. That's kind of a cool idea.
Too, instead of just, here's a way to get superheroes into the show.
Right.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's what it became.
Yeah.
Now the kid's a superhero, and that's it. It's like, oh.
Because, even the villains aren't after him until they realize, oh, wait, he's just a good body.
Well, and the opening scene at, what was the name of the company?
Oh, such a memorable name.
Whatever
I wondered if it was a what do they call not an acronym, but a when they jumble
Anagram.
Anagram.
Yeah.
I wondered if it was an anagram.
I wonder if that, but then I got
hung
hung up because whatever the first word of it was, harmony.
Yeah, harmony was definitely
Okay, so harmony, whatever the second part was.
Harmony Shoal or
Shoals.
Shoal or Shoals.
Yeah.
Shoals?
Something.
Shoals. I kept going, well, harmony is like a melody, which is kind of like a pond.
Oh, you were trying.
Yeah, I mean, I was really working every conceivable angle. And I wasn't totally unconvinced that the guy still wasn't a great intelligence, especially when we walk into a room full of brains. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to be proven right. This is going to be so disappointing, but okay. And then none of that came to pass. But the first scene at the company really felt like, okay, well, we have the superhero world. This is obviously going to be the creation of the supervillain. And I was kind of looking forward to getting the whole story. And then, no, this is the Doctor's story. And then the segment that's been all over the coming soons with the trailers, where he's spying on people, is there. And it didn't really work for me in context either. I think that was kind of the big problem I had with it. Out of context, it was like, well, I'll have to wait till Christmas to find out what's really going on here. And then being in the middle of the episode, it didn't really work. Now, having said all this, I don't want to take anything away from Peter Capaldi. He was great as usual, and I loved all his moments when he's going through the comic book. When Shoals.
Harmony Shoals.
That just sounds like Melody Pond to me, but or River Song, but it maybe that was the intent, is it was supposed to be a play on words, so there was one extra little dagger in the thing. But when he's going through the comic book, or when he's eating sushi, yes, I brought snacks. I mean, he's got some great bits, but it never really transcended anything beyond that for me. Mm-mm. And then Nardole, who I was all excited about. I was like, oh, Nardle's going to be back. I love him now. And we get a line drop, typical Stephen Moffat explanation for why the character's back from the dead. That I just, you took me out of the robot. Oh, okay, we're just going to hand wave that away. All right.
Yeah.
And then he's going to show up.
At least they addressed it.
Yeah.
I was afraid that they weren't going to address it until later.
They addressed it better than they did Strax, but in the same fashion. And then he kind of became what I didn't want him to become. He was a little too forefront in the action, and he was a little too comic relief. And by the end of the episode, I was like, I'm not sure I'm looking forward to Matt Lucas being in season 10.
See, Matt Lucas was my favorite part of this. And
really?
Just because of the way the character's handled. He's not over the top. He's not underplayed. He's kind of there. And it sets the tone for what I think we're going to get from Matt Lucas through the rest of the series.
That's what worries me.
So I think that's okay. I think it's a different companion. It's a different character.
It was slightly balanced in the by the end of it.
Yeah.
Because you got the funny bit and then the action bit of him kind of being fumbling. But then we got the nice serious bit of him being, well, he's sad because of this, and I'm going to look out for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought that was good.
I was on the fence about Nardole up until that scene, and I was like, okay, all right.
See, at that point, it almost felt like it was too little, too late. I did enjoy his interactions with the Doctor. I think the way that he and Capaldi bounce off one another is really an intriguing dynamic.
Would have been a little bit better for you.
Maybe that would have made a huge difference, because it just really didn't feel like... It felt like two people having a conversation that wasn't related to where they were going or what they were doing in the car on the way there. You know what I mean? It was like I'm watching with Nail and I in the confines of a Disney movie. Something was that strikingly different about
that's how the superhero felt with the rest of the story to me.
I mean, it really, really was.
Sean, the first definition that comes up for shoal or shoals
It's a
is
shallow
a
water
large
thing, right?
number
Water?
of fish swimming together, which works in the context of these particular aliens.
Oh, yeah.
However, the second one that comes up is, as you just said, a place where a sea, river, or other body of water is shallow. A sea bank or a sandbar in a bed or body of water. So it still relates to water in that definition. So Harmony Shoals still carries on the
Pond.
river song.
So a double
melody pond.
entendre.
I think that
Is it
it makes me
spelled like
wonder
the
if they're
shoe
going
people?
somewhere. The shoe people? Oh, Shoals. No, the Shoal is how this is spelled.
We didn't get the super villain. We just have the brain bad guys who are now interested in the superhero for no apparent reason other than that he stopped them. A kind of sort of clever twist with this bomb in orbit that's going to nuke New York, except for the one building that's built to withstand the blast. It's like, oh, that was a clever bit of exposition you gave us earlier. I'm glad the Doctor figured that out.
And called back to it.
But then, we have a superhero on the payroll now, so
The
that
superhero
threat's-
becomes Plan B too. That's the detriment of this whole thing. Is he becomes a catch-all for the Doctor when the Doctor's first plan doesn't work out. Plan B comes. Oh, luckily I've got this kid that swallowed this gem that gave him superpowers because I can use that as my second one.
Yeah.
And the other glaring issue with it, and it's a Christmas story, so I'm trying to be nice, but why was the bomb headed right at that building? I mean, I presume the Doctor must have had a little bit of control over that ship.
Yeah, he was steering
aim
it totally
at
toward
him.
right at him.
Yeah.
It just seemed way too convenient that it went right there where he could stick his hand out and stop it.
Well,
which-
yeah, the problem was the Doctor wasn't
imagery of that
explaining
was
what he
really
was
cheesy.
doing as he was redirecting it.
Yeah, which was very cheesy too.
Which is, again, one of the so frustrating because there are a lot of Superman the movie jokes in this. There's a lot of little things that they directly from Superman the movie.
You heard this Siegel and Schuster.
Siegel and Schuster at the beginning,
Yeah,
which
that
was a great gag.
nice nod to
Or
the
nod.
creators. Yeah.
And then the fact that you're the only one on Earth that can hear this frequency is like, he's doing the Lex Luthor bit. That's cool. And fortunately,
It gives me the feeling that Stephen Moffat had just got done watching Superman the movie and started writing one thing and it evolved into something else, is what it feels
it
like.
could easily be.
Because all of that Superman references are at the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, Moffat has said that Superman and Clark Kent are his favorite superhero and alter egos. So
I did like the conversation in the stairwell about Spider-Man.
at least we acknowledge other superheroes.
He got bit by a radioactive spider. Well, I imagine then he got radiation poisoning.
He got
He got
superpowers.
superpowers.
Like throwing up and losing his hair.
Not so much of a superpower, but okay.
And again, that works with Capaldi's Doctor
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
the 11th Doctor would have been cool.
Yeah,
he would have
because
been.
it's so childlike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Capaldi's so removed from that childlike.
Matt Smith would have been like, I wonder if I could find a radioactive spider. He would have went and engineered one to see if he could get superpowers off of it. It's probably was going to be his next plan after he shaved his head. It's just that kind of. I wonder what would happen if. And Capaldi's like, no, that doesn't work. Nothing works like that. That's not how this goes. But then to get to the end of the story and not even resolve it. I'm going to hang up the cape. Okay, great. See you later. What about the gem?
The easy resolve of the bad guys too. Unit's just going to sweep in and take care of it.
Yeah, it was a little convenient in the cleanup too. Yep.
Although there was a little
We do have the
dangling
guys,
thread,
yeah, the dangling guy, the guy.
So we're at least
thread
going to
guy
have them come back.
escaping.
And then Osgood name
Which makes
dropped,
me wonder.
which was cool. But
Yeah, which makes me wonder if Harmony Shoals. There's more to it. Now, part of me wonders if was that another synonym for River's name that maybe just didn't get used, and so he said, "Well, I'll just call the name of this company Harmony Shoals." Or
Is
are
there
we going to
something-
get another something going on because that guy escapes? And so there's obviously that dangling thread too. So and if these are the same aliens that were on board the ship in Husbands of Ever Song, there's another connection.
I wonder if it's the groundwork being laid for something bigger.
And we've got
and a big
Nardole. We've got
payoff.
so many things that connect. So.
Yeah.
But that's the question. Is it more of a, I don't even want to say wrap up, but is it more of just the opportunity to springboard off of Husbands and kind of do a parallel time-wise story or second part to it? Or is it a legitimate, I'm going to build all
gonna
this
be a
up
new
into
through
the
line?
finale
That's why I
of the
think we have to
season.
wait to see if it can answer because it looks like it could be either.
Yeah.
right
Typical
now.
Moffat fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, maybe he'll fix it. Maybe we'll get to the end of the season and I'll be changing my tune going, oh my God, it's the greatest kickoff for anything ever. I didn't think so.
I don't
but
even think I
don't
would
think
feel
so.
that way, even if it does pay off. I may think, okay, it rectifies the story a bit, but I won't say, well, that was the greatest payoff for that setup, because I don't think you could do anything to
It
make
feels
the setup
like the
better.
Great Intelligence. From snowmen to...
There was a room full of brains. How could the Great Intelligence not be in the story?
Well, I mean, the way he's established the Great Intelligence and then built it up.
Yeah, felt like that
Because
kind
he
of...
did grab that thread and pull it through.
From even back to, the snowmen and to...
Snowball all the way
Rivers.
to
Yeah.
Name of the Doctor.
Yeah.
But, okay, well, so did you get the girl because the gem is still giving you your heart's desire? Or,
No, I hadn't thought of that.
or
It didn't, that,
is that a cheat now? Does that
Now
not
that
work?
is a cheat now.
That didn't seem like that's how
I
the
don't.
gem
I don't
works.
think that's how that works. But
Now, granted, it could be making him exude pheromones or whatever that would make him more attractive to her because he desires her. But you think that would have happened a long time ago?
that's why.
I think the other thing that I have a real problem is every time he left the baby, I kept thinking, you know what? That's still irresponsible. Even if you're taking the long-range baby monitor, which I didn't believe for 1 second.
At least
with
the climax and everything was up on the roof, so it
Yeah.
wasn't too far.
That one was okay, but I mean,
It
he was
was
going
when he went to
far
go
away.
fight the
Yeah,
fire.
and
It was
Harmony
like-
Shoals and the fire and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And that was my other issue with it or the thing that sort of fixed it, and I kind of thought it was okay, is he did say, I can get back here as faster than anybody can go from another room to check on a baby. And I thought, okay, that element of it works. It's that baby monitor thing where he can monitor the baby from anywhere in the city that he's saving somebody. That was dumb.
Yeah.
That was just...
I'd rather just have super hearing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would
that
have
would've-
fixed it. That would have fixed it. I'm attuned to the baby's cries or...
But even and of course the doctor has a great line. Even I think this is irresponsible.
Yeah. Which I'm glad that was said, because that helps. But.
I don't know. There's so much of it that didn't add up that I didn't feel like I got a satisfactory ending for it, and then so much of it that had the potential to be pretty decent and wasn't, and I don't know. It's kind of a mess. I can't give it the horn because there were too many moments I like.
Yeah.
And I will freely be honest. My enjoyment of it, in particular Capaldi, largely stems from the fact that I haven't seen him in a year.
Well,
Like his first scene, I broke into a
Well-
big grin and was like, I'm so happy that it's back.
and that might work to my detriment a little bit, is because I had higher expectations
That's-
for the first time in a year that I've seen him.
That's what I come down on, too, is I waited an entire year with no Doctor Who to get this.
Yeah.
I was glad to see Capaldi back, and I think he is one of the best parts of this, but...
Yeah.
I think I saw it coming. I think I saw this episode coming. But I do feel better that you guys come down on the same thing.
How do you fix it? Do you just not do the superhero bit, or do you? Can you keep the framework of the story and do something different?
Well, the aliens are
Can you keep
interesting.
Can you keep the superhero thing and get
concept
rid of
is
the
interesting.
aliens and make that work?
It's just the superhero thing. Even they needed to go somewhere else other than him to become the Plan B. That's the problem with the whole
He
thing.
needed to be the plan A.
Yeah, he needed to be the Plan A.
Give him
but
a
then
reason to
again,
be
you
there.
kind of take the Doctor away from being Plan A, which is what we kind of like.
But he always is. Never.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
Well-
he may come up with plan B, but
Right.
I love the fact that Nardole assumes that there's going to be a plan B immediately.
Yeah. So what's Plan B? I don't know. I'm trying to.
Which
I don't have-
honestly kind of detracts from the ending when he hangs up the superhero cape and the doctor's like, "That's okay, I'm here," and it's like,
Yeah.
but you weren't. You
Yeah.
needed him to get out of this mess.
It almost kind of felt like they were, if not trying to bring him back, hoping to spin him off or something.
If this had been an American production, I totally would buy that excuse.
Well, here's
because
the other
it feels
thing
like a lame setup for a
feels
spin-off
like an American
series.
spin-off series setup, and the even more ironic about it is the fact it's set in America.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up because so much of the superhero stuff did feel American, and the rest didn't. Did you guys kind of feel the striking difference between was that a part of the tonal things for you guys?
Could be.
Being and a part of it feeling so American, Because even like Angels Take Manhattan, set in America,
Still feel
doesn't
British.
feel American.
Same thing with the Daleks, the two-part story. Still feels British. It doesn't feel American. Even the stuff in the silent stories. Well, even the silent stories when in Utah does not feel.
Yeah.
It still feels very British. And we've got Nixon and Shepard's part.
Canton.
Thank you, Canton, Delaware.
I was going to say Badger.
Yeah, it just Badger. Yeah.
You know, what's funny is
The closest I think it comes to is Daleks and Take Manhattan. There are some of that. The American in that feels so ham.
Which I think is why.
Forced.
Because
Makes
this
it feel
one felt
British.
natural. I'll give them this.
A little bit
this
more
is the
natural.
most natural American.
Which I think the
They're
main
probably
guy is
American.
Canadian. So
I think they're at least North American actors and actresses.
I don't remember when it was. It's interesting you say that because there was a segment of the show that happened, and it was a line or a bit or something, and in the back of my head I went, "This feels a little bit like Doctor Who the movie,"
I never felt that.
and then I moved on, and it wasn't a long
I never
thing. It
felt
wasn't.
Doctor Who the movie ever felt very
Well,
American.
I don't either, and you guys know me. I fight very hard against that thought that it's an American production, it doesn't count as Campbell. No, it's Doctor Who. But for whatever reason, something triggered something in the back of my head that made me make that connection.
I'm going to have to disagree. I think Doctor Who the movie feels very American. I think there's enough British flair in it, but it has always felt very Americanized to me.
Oh, but it's set in America.
Well, yes, but it has that flavor. That hot dogs and nacho cheese Doritos flavor.
Merca. Yeah, I don't know. I just... Like I said, it got done, and Mel and I kind of looked at each other and went, eh.
The preview got me excited for the next series.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
Bill seems
Series
interesting.
10.
Bill looks really cool. I love the fact that she's going to be the question asker. And just the way that's edited. Can I use the bathroom? Is it blah, blah, blah. And what's a Dalek? And just on and on and on and on. It's like, oh, this is going to be great.
Yep.
It
I'm
almost
really
feels like
excited over her.
a more traditional approach to a companion for the show.
Almost classic series
Yeah.
approach. Yeah.
Hopefully, knock on wood, she won't be a plot mystery to solve.
Yeah.
Which would be a nice change of pace too.
Yeah, that's true.
Looks like a lot of variety too.
It does seem that way. Yeah.
And a lot of clips from the Dalek episode.
Did you think so?
There were quite a few.
Once the Daleks...
You don't see them.
Once you hear...
saw the one.
Well, you see the one.
You hear
Yeah.
them. Well, that's why you don't see them much, but you hear
Yeah.
it.
Once you hear the one, it seemed like the second half of the trailer was all from that Dalek episode, but maybe not.
Bring it on.
Which looks like some of it looked like the introduction clip too.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's pulled from that, or if they just included the introduction clip in
Well,
the
that
trailer.
could be because they had that footage already ready. So
Yeah.
maybe there is no Dalek episode at all, and they just used clips from that.
And Glenn will cry.
We'll go. No. But I mean, I like the Dalek episode. The thing is, we haven't really had. To me, we haven't had a real stinker Dalek episode since Victory of the Daleks, and that was all Mark Gatiss' problem. Which somebody pointed
he's
out.
bringing us more something else. So.
Which somebody pointed out that Victory of the Daleks is really kind of a love letter to Power of the Daleks.
It really
is really
is.
what it is. If you look at it, it's
an
structurally
attempt
it's pretty much the
to
same.
modernize it.
Yeah. So
I don't know. It's one of those things that there's a part of me that thinks that if you can take a classic Who episode that is lost and rework it and present it to me in a new fashion, there's a part of me that thinks, yeah, I'm okay with that. That's kind of cool because at least now we're getting to see it in some way, shape, or form. And then another part of me is like, no. You have the entire universe to tell stories. Don't tell me the same one 3 times.
Because of the continuity, it's the villain trying to do the exact same thing.
well, I think because that one was missing, now it cheapens it a little bit that we've got a form of it back. But I think because it was missing, I think I was completely fine with somebody doing that. But when at this point it almost cheapens it. If you go back and watch it now, it's like, Yeah, you've done this story.
Well, and of course, in
But
my
how would
mind,
they know? They when Gatiss wrote that, he probably felt that was lost forever. And
probably,
And
but in the
who
back of
knows,
my
it could
mind, they're
have
going to
been
find it.
well, for you, not
When
most
he was
people.
writing it, who knows? It could have been a subconscious thing too.
Yeah. Speaking of Power of the Daleks, we should note that we were supposed to do 2 more episodes of Power of the Daleks, but we had crazy weekends, and
Too busy.
we haven't gotten the 6th episode watched, any of us, so we're going to put that off until next week. Well, I think we can
Yes.
have that done by next week. So
For the very Vortex Christmas special.
that's it.
It's getting to the point where we might just review Power of the Daleks when Power of the Daleks comes out on DVD, which is what we talked about doing originally.
No,
but
we need to finish. We
almost
started
there.
this.
We started
we're
it, so
almost
we're
there. We need to finish. We'll get it. We'll get there.
I think I'm going to break apart my viewing of it, and I'm going to do nightly. I think I'm going to watch an episode a night just so that I still have a break in between them versus still mainlining it and throwing it together, which was kind of the whole point of doing it this way, was to
Right.
not do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think I may break them at nightly.
All right.
Because now it's been so long, I feel like I need to go back and rewatch 1 and 2 so I can refresh myself for what I'm going to go into.
And since we've kind of organically led into the schedule, what else is on the schedule? We've kind of talked about next week's show periodically through this episode, but to sum it up, Sean, what are we doing next week?
Well, let me tell you a little bit about next week's schedule. Well, it's a very Vortex Christmas special, and we're going to have reviews of... Thank you. The Doctor Who was covered up. I couldn't read it. For some reason, my brain shut down and said, I can't read the title. You covered up the first part of it. BBC Doctor Who, 12 Doctors of Christmas, which is a wonderful, well, supposedly wonderful. I haven't read it yet. These 2 guys assure me it's pretty wonderful.
It is wonderful.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
That
Tip our hand.
It's a book that just came out recently that's got 12 different short stories in it that are all Doctor and Christmas related. So we're going to review that, as well as finishing off Power of the Daleks, as well as the 9th Doctor BBC Titan Comics
Short
TV,
story.
whatever it is,
Doctor Who.tv.
Doctor Who.tv short story.
With Titan panels that
Yeah, there are some
are
illustrations.
flashed through there. Yeah. Illustrations. That's what
So we'll be reviewing that as well. And we're going to have kind of a special event to
Usher out 2016.
usher out 2016 with
Welcome
a whimper.
in, perhaps a better year.
And we're gonna reach deep into the Vortex vaults and pull out some good juju to to sprinkle over the New Year's baby, and as we kill off Father Time.
Yes.
And we're gonna
We're
will
gonna
this into
murder-
existence.
We're going to murder Father Time this year.
So you have that to look forward to, and that's very cryptic. And I'm sure everybody will be wondering what is up with that.
They're going to kill somebody on next week's show. And then they're going to sprinkle something on a poor baby.
You heard it here live. The Friday Night Who, just before that, is the first 3 parts of The Time Monster. So we get a little funky pertwee on the schedule. And that leads into the following week, the first official 2017 Friday Night Who, will be the final 3 parts of that.
So I before you go on, I do feel like I should put out a warning. If you have not read the 12 Doctors of Christmas, I advise do not look at the illustrations until after you read the correlating story.
Oh.
A bit spoilery.
I had a bit spoiler. Only one really I felt spoiled the story a surprise for me.
I've picked up this book 3 times tonight and flipped through it. You didn't warn me until now.
I just now thought of it. Did you look at the illustrations?
I know.
So, see?
I just saw there was a picture, but kept going. Which leads into the next week's show, Lethbridge Stewart, Blood of Atlantis.
And we're doing the Wishing Bazaar too, right?
And the Wishing Bazaar, I believe, is on there. And then the rest of the schedule will be posted at some point in time after that, because we've got some housekeeping to take care of. I've got some house cleaning. We've got a lot of house
We all
cleaning to
had
take care of.
family over for Christmas this year. So.
It's like at the militarized zone. But so yeah, we'll get you updated as we go. So
All right. If you're not already supporting us on Patreon, why not? We can use your help. We do have a link on our website, travelingthevortex.com. You click on that link and you can support us with a monthly rotating donation, or you can, I think you can do one-time donations on there as well. If you're already supporting us on Patreon, we thank you. And It's been a very special year for us because that has been a tremendous help in keeping this show going from year to year. We appreciate that greatly. If you want to send us feedback, you can do that by...
You can send it to feedback@travelingthevortex.com or just go to travelingthevortex.com and fill out the Send Us Feedback tab.
Don't edit that. That was funny.
And, of course, you can also reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of the usual social media avenues that you prefer.
And let us know about your hoo-haul.
Yes, please
Yes,
do.
we want to hear you hoo-haul. All right, anything
I got
else
the last can of hoo-hash.
anything else we need to touch on before we close this
Is that
show?
in Colorado?
All right, that's going to do it for this week.
Wow, the show suddenly feels a
Until
lot more
next
American.
week. I'm Glenn.
I am Sean Mysterio.
I am Keith.
Cheers.
Good night, everybody.
Be seeing you.
And thank you for listening. And install a smoke detector in your house.
Oh, yeah. It's like, where did that come out of left field? But that's right. That was
Out of that left field episode that
Yeah.
was just,
You have been listening to Traveling the Vortex. Doctor Who and all of its associated programs are owned and trademarked by the BBC. No infringement is intended or implied.